Wishes. We make them all the time. But when do they really come true? Our next wish kid shows us that a wish, his wish, comes from a much higher power with an impact on lives that goes farther than any person could imagine.
My name is Matt Hallmark, and I'm Ethan's dad. He was born in 2001, and at age 9, he was diagnosed with neuroblastoma cancer. At age 13, he passed away.
So these are called the P's of courage.
I'm Rachel Hallmark, and I'm the mother of Ethan Hallmark. Ethan was absolutely obsessed with fishing and hunting and just absolutely loved doing those things with his dad.
When we would go on vacations, usually it would involve some sort of outdoor activity, and if Ethan could figure out a way to include fishing in that trip, that was definitely on the agenda.
My name is Lauren Hallmark, and I am Ethan's little sister. He is gentle and lowly in the best ways. He was like gentle with me, with my mom and dad, with everybody.
He was faithful to a core, whether it was his faith in God, whether it's his faith in people, certainly his faith in his friends and his family. When people left Ethan, there's something that was stirred inside of them. He brought out the best in people.
Ethan's friends would probably say he is super considerate and a big inspiration, like going through something so hard, but still loving the world and the people around him.
It was a privilege to be blessed with a son like that, because I don't feel like it's anything we did. He was just gifted with loving other people and putting other people before himself.
So we had a few days before the diagnosis that we knew something was off. Something was a little bit different. About 4 o'clock that afternoon, I got the call from my wife, and it was just sobs, and I couldn't understand a single word she said.
At first, we thought he had this really treatable lymphoma with an 80% survival rate, and then a doctor called us into a room and told us that he was so sorry. It wasn't that treatable lymphoma, it was a stage 4 neuroblastoma.
The days, hours, and certainly the minutes leading up to when you have a scan are painful and exhausting.
And his doctor, his main oncologist, walked in one day and she said, well, I've got something that'll hopefully make your day a little brighter. And she asked us, have you heard of Make-A-Wish? Well, of course, we've heard of Make-A-Wish. Ethan qualifies for one. I'm gonna put his name in if that's okay with you. And it was just this, I can't even explain the joy it brought in that moment. To have so much going on that was so horrible, and for her to come in and it just lit up his face, and he immediately started thinking, what do I want to do, or where do I want to go? And so we weren't thinking about cancer. Even Ethan's doctors knew his Make-A-Wish would involve fishing. Like, it was a no-brainer. I mean, there's no kid who loved fishing more than that kid.
When we found out we were going to Make-A-Wish trip, Ethan was super excited to go.
How it takes their mind off, you know, their present suffering, and how much he would look forward to it, and how much we talked about it. It's just, like I said, it was just this reprieve from cancer to talk about his upcoming trip.
And once we got there, it didn't come up short. That was an amazing trip because it was sort of the cherry on top. It was the reward at the end of a long battle. And so it really kind of was uplifting for Ethan's spirit because, hey, I finished, I did it. I'm in remission, and now I've got this great thing to look forward to.
For Ethan, the support, that's what got him through his treatment, whether it was community support or an organization like Make-A-Wish going out of their way to carry his burden. It fills these kids with so much love and so much a healing of a different kind. You know, it's not the healing that comes from medicine, but it's this emotional healing that they need. What it does for these kids, what it does for these families, even if you could take cancer away for 5 minutes, that makes it worth it. And it's such a gift. It was such a gift in that moment. I remember my daughter one time said after he died, I don't remember Ethan before cancer. It just immediately came out of my mouth. Well, then you knew Ethan at his best.
being able to like hold on to memories other than the hospital was, yeah, really important to me. And I'm very thankful forever for it.
Ethan was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma cancer in June 2011 at the age of 9 years old. For the next 4 years, he endured what can only be considered pure torture. His first year of treatment consisted of 7 high-dose rounds of chemotherapy, tumor resection, 28 days of 28 days of radiation and antibody therapy. His high-dose chemo required stem cell transplant to bring him back from the brink of death. I still vividly remember continuing swapping out cold, wet napkins on his forehead as his body continued to fight and he spiked fevers over 108 degrees. However, nothing compared to the antibody therapy that he endured. Neuroblastoma is a cancer of the sympathetic nerve system. The antibody process not only targeted good, healthy cells, but it also, not only targeted the cancer cells, but it also targeted the good, healthy cells. As you can imagine, your own body fighting against your own nerves, the pain was unbearable. Ethan literally felt his arms and legs were continually on fire. And that was all in the first 9 months of his treatment. However, treatment didn't define Ethan, nor did his cancer. If you ever met Ethan, you would know that he held no resentment, no animosity, and no regrets. He loved life and valued every minute God gave him on this earth. He was full of joy, humor, patience, compassion, kindness, and faith. What Ethan had was infectious. He lived in a way that made me want to be a better person, a better friend, a better husband, and a better dad. Ethan absolutely brought out the best in people. I want to thank Make-A-Wish and each of you for your contributions to the support of this organization. In fact, there may be some of you here today that donated funds back in 2011 that allowed Ethan and our family to experience the blessing of a wish. Your support has helped innumerable children and families as they walk through the pains of disease and treatment. Your generosity has made a deep and lasting impact to Make-A-Wish families and the people within them.
Our Make-A-Wish trip to Hawaii was more than just a nice vacation. It was so much more. It gave us absolutely priceless memories. And until you've lost a child, it's hard to truly understand what priceless means. Make-A-Wish gave us time with our son. Make-A-Wish gave me quiet mornings on the beach with him. In fact, one of those mornings, we had a casual encounter with someone who I wouldn't see again for nearly 12 years.
Rachel and Matt, excuse me, thank you for those powerful words. My name is Aaron Palmer, and I only met Ethan one time, but that encounter changed the trajectory of my life. And it's in part because people like you gave to make not only his Hawaii wish possible, but you made his bigger wish come true, the one to change lives and bring out the best in people. The fact that I'm standing here before you today is a miracle. In a lot of ways, I shouldn't be. But in 2011, Ethan and my path crossed on a beach in Maui, the same beach he was on because of Make-A-Wish. See, I grew up in a chaotic household. My mom was married 8 times. I witnessed things no kid should ever have to witness. That upbringing drove me to alcohol. And by the time I was a young adult, I was a full-blown alcoholic. It's in that context that I found myself in Hawaii on November 19th, 2011. Even though I had maxed out my credit cards on booze and bar tabs, I took on more debt to join a friend's destination wedding in Maui. Despite the blackouts and wild nights, I made a promise to myself to see the sunrise over the ocean. So on one of my last days on the island, I pulled myself out of bed just before first light. Still drunk from the night before, I grabbed a bottle of vodka and stumbled down to the beach. It was there I noticed a young boy fishing under the watchful eye of his mother, wearing a Make-A-Wish t-shirt. Something about him drew me in, and fueled by liquid courage, I decided to approach them. That's when the boy's mother, Rachel, explained to me that they were there on a Make-A-Wish trip. Her son, Ethan, was battling cancer, and fishing on this beach was part of his wish. Something stirred within me. I had to talk to this boy, and for reasons I still can't fully explain, Rachel allowed it. You guys get it. Ethan and I talked for 30 minutes. I can't tell you all the specifics, but he left a mark on me. He spoke with confidence. He spoke of hope. He spoke of a bigger purpose and faith that he found in God. He radiated genuine happiness, which was a stark contrast from my messed up life. I was awestruck. In those moments, I felt as if God himself had slapped me awake, showing me where my life was headed if I didn't change, but also what was possible if I did. I walked away inspired, and when I returned to Washington State, I made a decision to reclaim my life. I gave up alcohol, I found sobriety, and I met God. That conversation on the beach became the catalyst for a transformation that has led me to where I am today. 12 years sober, a husband, a father, a successful business owner, and now a man of faith, just like my man Ethan. After that day, love it, love it. After that day, I couldn't help tell anyone who would listen about the young kid that I only knew as the boy on the beach. That's what I called him for years, the boy on the beach. But in 2023, I was encouraged to find him. I had to find him. I needed to let his parents know what he had done for me. So I Googled Make-A-Wish and started sending emails to anyone I could. The initial responses weren't hopeful. There are so many kids that go on trips to Hawaii. But I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. Finally, one day, I got a call from Kim, the CEO of Make-A-Wish North Texas, saying, "Aaron, we found him, and his parents have agreed to talk to you." And my boy on the beach finally had a name. This past Christmas, I got the opportunity I'd been longing for. My family and Ethan's family reunited for an incredible meeting. I got to tell Matt and Rachel and his siblings how much Ethan meant to me. I got to show them my children, who now have a father, because of their son and brother. I got to share how that day on the beach was not a chance encounter, but a divinely orchestrated moment that would lead to healing, growth, and a newfound purpose. And that each year I take my family to that same spot on the beach in Maui to remember that moment and a wish kid that changed my life forever. I share all this with you so that you realize something important. When you give today to make a child's wish a reality, I believe there's some bigger things at play, someone bigger at play even. It's true that you're giving to make a dream come true, but may I offer that you're giving for an even bigger purpose. You never know who else can be affected by your generosity. How do I know? Because I'm standing here before you today. You may think that you're giving for a trip or an experience or something really tangible like that, and you are for sure. But can I be bold? When you give, you may just be giving for a deeper reason that God has in mind. To not only impact the life of a child and put a smile on their face, but to make priceless memories and impact the lives of those around them and change those lives in miraculous ways. And maybe, just maybe, when you're giving to make a child's life more comfortable, you're also giving to save another life altogether.
Please consider supporting Make-A-Wish tonight in a way that is meaningful to you. What they do is absolutely priceless. Make-A-Wish kids are so special. Just like Ethan was special, like every kid in this room that's come up here tonight that was a Wish kid is special. They deserve to know their wishes matter. These kids embody the absolute best in our society. Our ability to support this organization shows that we value that which is priceless for those kids who deserve even more. Thank you so much.